everyone, welcome back to my channel. And it's been a long time since I made a video. I'll be making some shorts though. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the Grand Chess Tour for the Super Rapid and Blitz, which is in Poland for 2026. It's one of the first tournaments. So yeah. So currently we have the world champion Gukesh Raju in the first round of the Rapid. So the Rapids finished. I want to go over 5 games at Rapid. The Blitz is currently happening. And so Gukesh with black in the first game I'm going to show you is going to be against Alireza Firouzja with the white pieces. So we have a kind of, let's say, Indian game, East Indian, might transfer to a Nimzo. Now it's a Queen's Gambit decline. And yeah, so now just on all the Queen's Gambit decline. Queen a4 check is one of the moves. I like to go bishop to g5. So after Queen a4, knight has to block on c6. a3, you have to take back, and knight to e4. This hits the pawn, so you don't really have to defend. You can also just develop a bishop, which is what he did. But like if you're just a beginner who still plays chess, you can just play bishop b2 or something. Like there's nothing wrong with that move, I would say. So knight e4, bishop f4. After you take the pawn, you just go queen c2. The knight goes back to e4, and you can just go h4. And even though you're down a pawn, the black knight just moved like 20 times, so you've got a better position. The knight goes back to e7. Knight jumps to g5. We don't have a trade. Here, the principal says you must just take towards the center, but that was not done in this high-level chess. He took here. We have d takes e4 and d5. So you see, you got the pawn back, although your pawn structure is like it's not the thing, but it's still a draw so far. Queen f5 check is played. This does win back the pawn. Bishop takes, but now you take this pawn. And e5 was played by Gukesh. Bishop b4 by Alireza Firouzja. And after this stuff, we did end up having c7, rook d1, taking out the pieces e3, knight c6. Bishop c3 is a bit of a mistake because of queen7, and you should have just taken the pawn here. You don't have to go back. I don't know why. Castles, bishop e2, rook to d8, h5. So you're trying to go for a kind of minority attack. Here, I think it's not that good because you can just go takes. You can go queen c5. I mean, like, isn't that bad? Castles, bishop takes c4 is played. But we had queen back to c2, the only move because now queen b5 and you go rook e1. So now the queen went to a5. Gukesh is better at this position, I should say. Bishop c3 hits the queen takes the pawn. Now Gukesh is up 2 pawns. So 2 pawn sacrifices. The mistake that he made, he should have played bishop f3 or something. He played a move h6. h6 is a mistake because of rook d8. And the point is, when the bishop moves to f3 now, then you play bishop d3, hitting the queen. So the queen moves to c1, you trade, and you go e4, hitting the bishop. So now the bishop's kind of blocked. Bishop g4 takes bishop f6, and now you're down 3 pawns. So now Gukesh is completely winning. Rook d6, bishop h4, a5. How are you just gonna go? Bishop back to goes over to c8, and then Gukesh makes a bit of a blunder. He makes the move a4. A4 is a blunder. Now it's a draw again because of the only move. Bishop takes b7, which is found because now knight e5, I think that okay, knight a5 is played. We have bishop going back to a8, defending itself. Rook comes to a6, and they play another game, the drawn endgame. Gukesh getting the advantage again, rook d1. Knight b3 was played from him. He should be able to win this. He's still up 2 pawns. f3, and he's still winning. He plays everything perfectly until you can see he had an advantage for a very long time, but then he has to end up blundering at one point. So and bishop me takes e2 is a blunder, and it's back to a draw because of the only move king to f2 by Alireza Firouzja, and also draw. King f7, king e2, king g6. The only move king to d2. Now you're getting the pawn. This is the point. This might be 2 pawns with opposite colored bishops. He was winning even though, but in this case it's a draw now. He finds exceptional moves, Alireza, and then the boys end up making a draw in this position. With 41 seconds for Gukesh and 51 seconds for Alireza. Alireza will be happy for getting the drawback. Gukesh a bit disappointed. But anyways, let's move on to the next game. There was a draw in the first game. This is, I think, round number 7, I should think. And this is between the challenger for the World Championship, Javakir Sindarov, an absolute crusher with the black pieces, against Wesley So. Wesley So is having a good tournament in the Rapid. So we have a Queen's Gambit declined, knight f3, knight b7, bishop d3. When if you're black, as soon as white moves the bishop, you want to take this pawn because it forces them to move it again. And then you can go b5, bishop d3. Okay, bishop b3 was not played. Okay, bishop d3 was played. Well, I was thinking of going a5 then. But then a6 was played, e4, c5, and then we have to move d5. Now, it's kind of getting a bit closed of a position. Bishop g2, queen c7 is on the board. Castles, bishop b7 by Javakar. This is a rapid, by the way, so we have 25 minutes. E takes, f takes, and knight jumps into g5. This hits the pawn over here, so knight goes to c5. We have e5, the sacking a pawn. It's still a draw. Rook e1, queen d6 is the idea, because now you go takes, bishop takes, and then like bishop e3, and then I guess we can just castle. Yeah, just castle. Rook comes to d1, bishop back to e7, defending itself. Bishop takes, and then they played on a bit. Wesley's up a pawn, and then we have some blunders. As you can see, what happened here: bishop e6, knight takes g7. King takes rook e7, win back the bishop, and this is just a winning position for Wesley. He's up a pawn. That was a bit of a mistake, but then Javakir did not play nicely in the end. It may be obstacle a bishop, but in this case, it's a winning game because your king is going to get to the pawns. As you can see, and you have too many pawns on that side, and this position with 3 seconds, Javakir resigned with Wesley still having 1 minute 35 seconds. This was a beautiful endgame played by Wesley. Javakir's one blunder. Well, anyways, let's now just quickly move on to the next game. It's been 7 minutes so far. Javakir Sindarov once again versus Gukesh. So kind of a rapid version of the World Championship. So this, if they get into the tie breaks, this is the practice, I guess. Javakir with white, Gukesh black. Javakir starts with e4. We have the Khan defense. I do have a video. It is knight f3, d5, and then we have to move d3. Queen c7 is played, and we have takes, and c4. This is a line played with many people. And they just have a kind of Catalan position. Takes bishop e3, so he sacks pawn. Gukesh does not take. It ends up happening. And Gukesh is up a pawn. Attacks the queen. Queen back. Bishop g5. Bishop comes to g4. So he also has not a bad position. Knight e6 is the only move apparently. Castles, and h3. The bishop goes back to e6. We have takes, knight to e4. So now Javakir's plan is just to try to kind of go for the king. You have king g7 defending the pawn at f4, f5. But then Gukesh starts getting a bit better after a few moves, like around this stage, queen d4, and then Javakir made a blunder. He thought he could sack. When a pawn is after f takes, f5 doesn't work because you got bishop c8. And he thought that she could like bring rook cd1 and stuff, which was played when queen goes back to f6 and you have enough pieces to defend. So he just sacked a piece, and then we have queen to c4, no doubt. Rook d8 is a mistake, apparently. And then we have rook takes, knight takes is the idea, and this doesn't work. King g7, and this is kind of losing now. Rook f4, h5, and another mistake, queen e2 is bishop d7, and then he's just out this. And this becomes winning because of the pass pawn you can see here, f6, and a few moves later, Javakir resigns. He tried to sack for an attack, but it didn't work, as you can see. You don't always have to sack just to try win. So that was not some great tactic from Javakir. Gukesh manages to win with the black pieces. That's brilliant. Now I think this is round number 13. Javakir's game was, I doubt, round number 9. Okay, yeah. Round number 13 is between the leaders so far. Hans with the white pieces and Wesley with the black. So this game so far, not tense, joking. Bishop e7. It's an Italian game with the two knights bottoms. Bishop opening. Castle d6. We have to move a4, a5, and we try to go h3. Bishop develops out of e6. This is some normal stuff. We have knight to d5. Bishop takes. E takes. This is all normal. Knight jumps it to b4. This is the main point. You go d4, e4, knight back, e6, takes. And then they just play on a bit. It's kind of closed position F3, trying to open it up. Hans playing beautifully. He did have a bit of a better position at one point, but thinks this is a very simple game. Check, check. Queen to d4. Playing some top engine moves, these two lines. And I don't want to go much into this game. A bit of a simple game. We did have some misses at one point, as you could see here. Bishop takes e5, rook takes b2, bishop d4, queen g6 to only move. Rook f2 is a blunder, not a blunder because of rook b1 plus. Rook b1 is played, king to h2, queen d6, g3, and a knight c7. So now Wesley's playing beautifully. We have another miss h4. Now he's kind of better in he found queen c6. And then we have queen takes a5. Another mistake. Just play e3. E3 he's winning. But he doesn't. He plays knight to c e6. And then it was just another draw. And then they played on. And then they ended up drawing. We have a bit of checks, trade queens, queen again, equal material position. And like they just played on, ended up trading queens, and it became a draw. So there you go, the two leaders of the tournament. Hans Niemann is on a very good streak. The American, he's like going crazy, he's crushing everyone. Wesley So is also tied with him. He's also having good tournaments. It's technically between them. I just want to go through these World Championship games. It's not a World Championship game, but like Gukesh is in this game, the last round. So this was the last round. Gukesh with the white pieces against Fabiano Caruana with the black pieces. So here we go. D4, knight f6, C4, E6. We have the move G3. After G3, he just went straight up C5, Fabiano. D5 is played. We have fakes, fakes, D6. Now it's a kind of Benoni, but like a Catalan opening is the main thing I'd say. It's just Bishop G7, G6. Knight develops out to C3, Bishop G7. We have Knight F3, and then we have castles, and Rook E8. So at this stage, Gukesh had to decide where he's going to put his bishop, here or here. He decided to play to f4. Hans with h6 an idea to go g5. We have rook to e1, and we have bishop f5. Knight goes to h4, bishop back to c8 by Fabiano. Knight back to f3, bishop f5. We might have a draw here, but Gukesh makes a mistake, h3. He doesn't want to draw. It's a mistake though. g5 by Fabiano. Bishop back to e2, knight bd7, a4. Now he's just going knight e4, and another mistake by Gukesh, a5. He can't afford this. b5 is played. He ampersanded. Knight takes back was a mistake. You had to take back with the a pawn apparently, but he took back with the knight. You have queen out to b3, queen d7, knight takes, bishop takes, and bishop to c3. So now Gukesh is worse in the position. The best move here is something like rook a b8, although Fabiano did not play it. He played his well, he played bishop takes d5. So bishop takes d5 wasn't the best move. This does allow queen c2 and queen c2 and then like bishop e4, queen c1. I don't know why Fabiano tried to draw this. Technically, we have rook to a5. Gukesh does not want it. Rook a c8, rook d1, d5, and takes, and queen to f6. Then they play on a bit. Gukesh is now back into position. Although he did make a few mistakes here and there, but then he found the best move here, b4, bishop takes, and knight takes b4. And the idea is to go bishop g4. There's pins. The only move f5 is played. The bishop goes back to f3, king g6 is played, queen to a7. And Fabiano, he made a bit of a blunder here. He went with g4. G4 is a blunder because of h takes, f takes, and bishop b7. Because after bishop c7, if the rook just goes to c7, and guess what? You go bishop e4 check. After queen takes e4, you take the rook and you want a rook. You want an exchange. Queen b1 check, king h2. Queen f1 is a mistake also. Because of queen to d6 check. And now Gukesh even has mate at one point, I'm pretty sure. Gives a bunch of checks. And like this is just winning. In this position, Fabiano Caruana resigns and Gukesh is on a good roll. He just beat Fabiano and Gukesh is doing good. But like that did not happen in the tournament. It didn't go his way. Not for Fabiano or Javakir did not do that good in this tournament. I don't think speed chess is a thing, even though he like blitzed everything in the candidates. But well, like this is the end, and then So the winner of the Rapid was actually Hans Niemann. Hans Marke Niemann, the American. He managed to battle out Wesley. Well, he didn't play him again, but like Wesley didn't do good in the last round and Hans managed to win. So yeah, that's our Rapid winner so far, Hans Niemann. So he did really good this tournament. He was low rated. He's gonna get a boost in his rating. And now it's in the Blitz. As you know, this is like a two-thing tournament. So even if someone else wins the Blitz, Hans might not win the whole Grand Chess Tour. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you like it. I'm gonna make a video on the Blitz also. So goodbye.